All right, so this is the Grandma Hannah's Chronicles, and I'm going to interview you for prosperity's sakes.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess my first question would be this. You're Jewish, but you say you're atheist. So why
No,
is Judaism...
I never said I'm an atheist. I'm an agnostic.
You're an agnostic.
And until they prove to me there's a God, I don't want to believe it. I don't believe on faith. I want to know that there is a God.
Going on that, why is Judaism important to you?
Oh, Judaism, that's my heritage, my identity, my history, my emotional involvement. This is my peoplehood. It's a peoplehood.
If you were to say one thing to future generations about Judaism and the meaning of Judaism in your life and what you'd like it to mean in their lives, how might you like to say that to the generations to come? Jesse, my children, if I have my children, what would you like to say to them about your faith?
You can't know it unless you're in it. I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. They'll say something like, well, he believes this or help you in this way or that way, but he's not Jewish, so it's not in his gut. It's not in his gut. Other things may be in his gut, but Judaism is not in his gut, but it's in my gut. And there's a certain feeling the Jews have. You have to be Jewish to feel it. But if you're this generation and you're far away from your Jewish heritage, maybe it's not in your gut. I think even, I think even you and your father, it's in your gut too, in some way. It's in your gut. I think that when push comes to shove, if there's a Jewish issue that's of very great importance, I think it would be in your gut too.
Well, I feel strongly about it. As far as interfaith marriage, that doesn't hold as much importance to me as the idea, the culture of Judaism.
Yeah, that's it. It's the culture of Judaism.
I would consider myself agnostic in that I just don't know. I've been on this planet for a number of years now, and I've seen nobody's faith be more right than any other faith.
That's true.
I think the guidelines of living a good life is enough. And if I pass on, whoever the winner is, I'll jump on board that bandwagon at the time.
Yeah.
Heck, if it's Buddhism, I'll be right there on board. If it's Judaism, I'll join that bandwagon too.
Well, I don't think there's anyone that they'll be to jump on.
Well, you have these religious yahoos that say, you must be a part of our faith or you will burn in hell.
Who says that?
Oh, evangelical Christians and people of other faiths, Muslims, Catholics.
Yeah.
Even probably very traditional Jews, like Orthodox Jews probably believe.
No, not you mean the Hasidics.
The Hasidic, yes. I do believe that if you live a good life, you could be somebody like Dad who's an atheist. And
who's an atheist?
Dad.
Is he an atheist or an
He is an atheist. He does not believe in God. But he's somebody where... I believe somebody who's a good man that leads a good life.
He doesn't believe in God, yet he had you have a bar mitzvah. He had his daughter have a bat mitzvah.
But that goes back to the first question I have, which is why is the Jewish faith so ingrained in you and so important to you, considering that you're agnostic?
But he knows he's Jewish, though.
He believes in the cultural aspects of Judaism.
Yeah. Well, I do too. See, I don't feel that I can be a Jew without believing in God. I can still be a Jew. Some people feel you can't be a Jew unless you believe in God, but I don't. I think they can be separated because there is such a thing as a cultural Jew. Sometimes they kid around with some rabbis might mock some of these Jews that say, "Oh, Some Jews will say the rabbis might say, "Oh, he's only a cardiac Jew because he's only a Jew in his heart, but otherwise he's a cardiac Jew." So. Did you ever hear that expression?
I have not heard that, but I get the gist of what you're saying right there.
They're being sarcastic.
There.
Oh, so now let me ask you. All I know is I'm a Jew. It's important, and I can't explain it too well. But why is it important to you?
When you're 13 years old and you're 15 years old and you get in a fight on the playground simply because you're Jewish.
Oh, yeah.
That ingrains an aspect of that
true.
Culture in you.
Yeah.
It's happened to Dad, it's happened to me. I don't know if it's happened to Sherry, but it certainly happens to me. When you hear somebody say something that's degrading to people in Jewish or a giant umbrella, well, they're not just talking about me. They're talking about my mother, my father, my sister, and my nieces. my grandmother, they're talking about my entire family. They don't know who we are. And I'd say this, I'm a stronger person for being part of a minority, even if it's a religious minority and not a racial minority. You get an appreciation for the understanding of bigotry, and I think I'm a more tolerant person because I'm Jewish.
I don't like to brag too much, but the fact is I think we have reason to brag. When you think of the small percentage of Jews on earth and how much their accomplishments are, I mean, you think of some of the greatest things that happen, and it's a Jewish man that invented it, a Jewish man that's involved with it. Think of Saul I mean, all the different things that have been developed in health,
And sciences,
science and health,
entertainment.
so many areas in finance, everywhere, and there's so often the percentage of Jews involved is very, very high.
I would say that one reason for this is that when you get down to the cultural aspects of Judaism, the leader of our culture is not a preacher, it's not a reverend, but a teacher. Because rabbi means teacher, literally translated from Hebrew. And when your leader is a teacher, it ingrains the importance of education in your value system. Those that are educated, regardless of where they come from, have a habit of rising up and doing what it takes to be successful because they have an ingrained sense of belief in education.
The preachers are telling you, I'm teaching you. Isn't that what they say to you? I'm teaching you. They're preaching, but they're teaching you, they claim.
They claim. But then again, you must try and explain why for 2,000 years when the Roman Catholic Church had control of the world, that nothing was progressive. It was a stagnant society for over a millennium.
That's what I'm saying, we have a lot to be proud of.
I think we have a lot to be proud of. Enough to be proud of as a society that it's incumbent upon us to be outspoken about such things and not feel that it's an area of shame or an area to be hidden that one's Jewish, be it fully Jewish or half Jewish or quarter Jewish or eighth Jewish.
You'll see a lot of people, I guess, were afraid to emphasize their Judaism because there was so much persecution all through the centuries. So they try to play it down. And if people attack them, they try not to make an issue because it'll only make it worse.
And even today, you'll see that. If you live in Arkansas, I would assume that you'd have a harder time going about society than if you lived in New York being Jewish. You see plenty of people that try and hide their Judaism from people or don't publicly acknowledge it to other people. They keep it to themselves.
Really?
I can tell you that on my side of the family, our original name, I believe, was Meyerowitz. They changed the name to Merritt in order to fit in.
Many people anglicized their names.
Yeah.